Too bad on this chart. It's a fairly deep area of low pressure which is moving eastwards across England and Wales just now. It's brought a spell of fairly heavy rain and it's still moving north, but it's now beginning to turn to snow across northern England. You can see the demarcation really. Temperatures in the south, though it's windy, are about 11 or 12 degrees, but across the north of England just now they're around freezing, so we've seen that band of rain readily turning to snow, especially on the hilly parts, but it's also snowing quite steadily around Blackpool and Manchester just now as well. So we've got some weather warnings out. We've got this one for Yorkshire and parts of Lancashire for the next few hours at least. Some persistent snow giving treacherous road conditions. That's going to last for quite a while, and that snow becoming more extensive as the night goes on. This low pressure moving eastwards out towards the Wash by breakfast time tomorrow, and that snow becoming more widespread across Wales and through the Midlands as we go through the next 6 to 9 hours. A very cold night in the north. There'll be 1 or 2 freezing fog patches around as well. Temperatures over the snowfields down to about -7, and some really treacherous roads, of course, where that snow begins to settle further south. Now in the extreme south and through East Anglia, a much milder night, but a windy one through the Channel, and temperatures here between 6 and 9 degrees. But turning colder tomorrow as the wind swings round to the north, a strong wind once again, and through the afternoon you'll find gale force winds coming down that North Sea coast. So tomorrow's temperatures levelling out generally tomorrow at about 3 degrees. It'll really feel cold as that wind begins to bite from the north. Now the low pressure moving away into the North Sea fairly quickly in the morning, and you can see that wind changing direction quite soon. So a very bad morning tomorrow for people across northern England, parts of Wales, central England too. Snow settling on many of the hills and also on some of the low ground as well. Really rather difficult conditions across many parts of central and northern England. That snowy weather moving east into East Anglia and the southeast through the afternoon, really quite treacherous. I think most of the snow will be on the hills, but it will be on some lower ground as well. Really quite a bad afternoon to come. Out in the western north, much more sunshine, but more frequent snow showers returning across northern and western parts of Scotland. And that's it from me just for now. Very snowy scene at the moment across much of northern England. That's because of this area of low pressure which is zipping eastwards very quickly at the moment across the North Midlands. It does in fact mark the demarcation between the very mild and windy weather in the south, with temperatures at 11 or 12 degrees in some parts, and to the north of Nottingham temperatures around freezing. It's been snowing steadily around Lincolnshire for quite some time now, and there's a lot more to come through the night as well. In fact, you can see on the radar picture here just how wet it is. Plenty of this is rain, but once you get to the north of Manchester it's basically snow, and it's snowing very heavily indeed in some areas, particularly on the hills, and with the wind strengthening as well there'll be drifting of that snow as the night goes on. In fact, as the colder weather digs in from the north in the next few hours, you will find that rain becoming more extensive as snow across Wales, the North Midlands and much of northern England as well. More wet weather across the south, but clear and frosty across Scotland and Northern Ireland on the whole, but there will be some freezing fog patches developing later on. Well, this area of low pressure moving away into the North Sea in the second half of the day on Thursday, but at breakfast time it'll be anchored across the Wash, and that means to say a very difficult journey into work across many central parts of the country. There'll be gale force winds blowing, icy stretches on the roads, and indeed across Scotland temperatures as low as -7. Now on the other side of the coin, in the south, a very mild but windy start, temperatures about 8 or 9 degrees, but as the day goes on, as the north wind develops and pushes south, you will find those temperatures plunging. So I think by early afternoon across much of central and southern England, temperatures hovering around 3 degrees, and there'll be some snow about as well. In fact, to start the day, plenty of snow across the northern parts of England and down into Wales and the Midlands, but then sleet and snow pushing across East Anglia and the southeast as we go into the late morning and through the afternoon. Eventually brighter showery weather following, and the snow showers across the northern Scotland will be fairly extensive as well. A very cold night to come on Thursday night then, especially with the snow cover, but then things change once again during Friday. We'll find this next system developing and swinging very quickly up from the southwest. There'll be gale force winds, there'll be plenty of heavy rain too, and for a time at least across the northern hills there will be a spell of snow. Eventually brighter showery weather